Hi everyone, thanks for watching. I'm Lauren from Guthrie and Ganny, and in this video I'm going to be sharing with you the recording of the live question and answer session that I did over on the Instagram platform on Monday the 5th of February 2024. So I'm going to be answering all of your questions that you've sent in beforehand, asking for tips and advice on your sewing and dressmaking projects, and giving lots of inspiration for fabric and pattern combinations as well from the amazing selection of fabrics that I have in my shop. So all of the fabrics are available on my website, and the link to that will be in the description to the video, along with all of the questions that I'm going to answer as well. You will see me just read out any questions and comments that are coming in live as well, just so that you get a bit of context about what's going on. But if you are watching here on YouTube and you want to comment on anything, you want to ask a question for a future session, then please just leave it in the comments, and then I can add it on to my next list for the next time, next week. So I'm going to switch over to the live recording now. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you very soon. Hello, good evening everyone. Thank you for joining me here on Monday the 5th of February. We're in February already, and I'm here for another hour of fabric and sewing chat for you here on the G&G shop floor. So as always, lots of fabrics to show you, and I'm going to be answering all of your sewing and dressmaking questions that you sent in beforehand. So plenty to get through tonight, and hopefully lots of ideas and inspiration coming your way. So thank you for joining me live, everyone. It's lovely to see you. I hope you've had a nice weekend and you got some time to do a bit of sewing. And yeah, it's great to see you all. So a few things before I get stuck into the questions, and if you do have any questions as I'm chatting, please feel free to ask them, and I will try and keep up to date with them as much as I can. Quite often I get asked what I'm wearing, so I'll cover that first. This is the Paper Theory Olia shirt, which is actually a kit that we did last summer, and the Paper Theory patterns are now not available as like printed patterns, but you can still get the PDFs, and then you can also get my top tips video for it, which is still on the website. But the reason that I wanted to wear it is because we've had the same fabric in, but in a new selection of colours. So when we got the fabric in for the kits, unfortunately we couldn't get any more. We could only get enough really for the kits, and there wasn't really that much left over, and a lot of you were asking for it because it's such a lovely fabric. So it's viscose, but the stripes are yarn dyed, so the stripes are like woven into the fabric as opposed to being printed on it, which makes it a really nice stripe woven fabric. So I have brought one of the new colours over to show you. This is the lovely lilac one, but there's also sort of brighter blue. There's not this exact blue, but there's like a brighter blue and a kind of darker navy blue. There's also a pink and a green one as well, and then this lovely lilac colour. So yeah, it's lovely and drapey. Like, you can see, for something that's more like oversized and kind of like a boxy fit, it just drapes really, really nicely. So yeah. Fiona saying, I love my Olia that I made from the kit. I know, I wear this in the red one because it came in red last summer as well for the kits. I wear them a lot, and because they've still got lots of ease, they still fit my growing tummy right now. Somebody's needing to ask, Jersey, do I need to pre-wash? Yes, I would definitely recommend pre-washing it. I managed to get some of your gorgeous wool. Excellent. So yeah, it's lovely to see you all joining. I love seeing where you're from as well. We've got Cornwall and Four Marks, not sure where that is, Dublin and Herefordshire and Sweden and Norfolk and Cambridge and Lancashire. So yeah, thanks for joining live, everyone. So yeah, all those new ones are on the website now. They're the stripe yarn dyed viscose fabrics, 100% viscose. They're 1410 a metre. So yeah, they come in a really nice selection of nice summery colours. We've also been planning our new spring window display as well, and this is going to be in it. So yeah, I will have a nice new window display to share with you soon. Joe and the G&G team will be busy putting that together over the next few weeks. Okay, the other things that I wanted to tell you was, so last week when I wore my amazing snuggly Jara jumper and this bright coral sweatshirting fabric, it's got the matching ribbing as well, we sold out of it so quickly. I'm so sorry that it sold out so quickly, but the good news is that after lots of messaging and sorting it out last week, I've finally been able to get more of it. they weren't going to make it again, and I was like, please, come on, you got to make it. So yeah, we've now got it available for pre-sale on the website. It's hopefully going to be due sometime in March. I have to give quite a big window because there's always like lots of variables with these things, but it should be in March. That was me building in a buffer. It should be by the end of March that we can send it out. But yeah, if you want to definitely get some, because I don't know if I'll be able to get it again. So I've ordered some more, but I don't know if after that I'll be able to get it again. So if you do like the bright coral sweatshirting, it's a lovely sort of nice thick snuggly one, and this is the Jara jumper. I'm cutting a coral Jara out from that fabric as I watch. Excellent. You can vouch for how lovely and snuggly it is then. So yeah, I just wanted to let you know from last week that you can pre-order that. The other thing that's literally just come in today as well, which we've been waiting for a while, is the Kelly & the Sheen's fabric ID tape. So that is the tape that has like printed little sections on it so that you can organise your fabric stash. So you can write on it like the fibre, the width, the length, where you got it from, if you pre-washed it, in any little notes. It's like a masking tape really. So it doesn't really, I don't think it really leaves a sticky residue or anything on the fabric, but if you were worried about that, you could just sort of stick it onto the selvage. But yeah, we have got that back in again, so you can organise your fabric to your heart's content. Okay, somebody's asking, how did you do the semicircle facing on the back of the Jara? So if you want the full tutorial and explanation, it is in my Jara top tips video, because we did the Jara as a kit in April last year, and in that we show you how to do like the little sort of facing bit. Essentially you just have to like use the neckline to make a little shape of the facing and then sew it on. It's more of like an aesthetic detail as opposed to particularly being functional, but I quite like doing it. And then I put on like a little label there as well. I also put on, I think this was one of the Kylie and the Machine labels that I think it was in maybe one of the advent calendar ones or the countdown calendars, and the colours seem to go really well with it. But yeah, I wanted to show you anyway, because it's quite a nice idea to use a label that would maybe normally be almost like a hanging one. So I've done that a few times on a jumper. It's like you just sort of slip it over the bottom hem, and then I've done like a little zigzag over it. So yeah, if you want to add a little label on. Margie's saying the Jara video is excellent. That's good. Thank you. I'm glad you liked it. Would you consider doing some kits similar to the advent calendar, makeup bags or pin cushions? Possibly, yes. We do tend to mostly focus on dressmaking and bag ones, but thank you for the suggestion. I managed to get some wool jersey from you and not sure how to pre-wash a wool wash. Yeah, I would try it on a wool wash, yeah. Yep. I have just cut the Tessuti Amara top in a knit, but I'm struggling to find fold over elastic. Please, can you help what I could use? I'm wondering in what context that is used in. I'm pretty sure we do have some fold over elastic, because we've got some for like making knickers. Yeah. Wonder if you could, maybe if you look for like laundry elastic, you might find one. Okay, the other thing that I wanted to just let you know about as well, because quite a few of you have been asking since we did our sample sale event, which was not the weekend but the weekend before, is will it be available, or any of it be available online? The answer is yes. We are going through the process of getting a batch of it listed online. Well, Hannah is, and that will be in a few weeks' time that we will release all of that. So just make sure you're signed up to our newsletter to get updates on that. So yeah, the sample sale fabrics for our event will be available online very soon. And then of course this week, finally, after what feels like forever, the first Sewing Society kits of 2024 will be released. Woohoo! And yeah, I'm excited to finally be able to share them with you. It always feels like such a big gap when we don't do one in January, and then yeah, the way the dates have fallen, and it ends up being quite late in February. But anyway, it is on Wednesday. So do make sure that you're signed up to our newsletter. If you send me a direct message on Instagram saying Sewing Society, then it'll like auto send you the link to sign up. I know I've had a lot of new followers recently. So if you aren't signed up to our newsletter and you're not sure what the Sewing Society is, it's free to sign up to our newsletter, and then you get first access to the new kits that we release each month. And yeah, it's always a bit of a surprise as to what they are, but I have given you guys some clues. I feel like I've had to be quite cryptic, but I think you should take that as a clue in itself. So yeah, that's coming up soon. Okay, so the other thing that I wanted to let you know about as well is if you are able to come to the shop, you are able to visit us here in Moseley and Birmingham, then we have got the lovely ladies from Mimiquins coming on the 9th of March to do like a demonstration of how they make their mannequins. They're like tailor's dummies mannequins by scanning your body and making one that is exactly for you. It's really cool. And I'm going to be doing a live question and answer with them on the 22nd of February at 8 p.m, so you can find out a little bit more about it then. But yeah, if you just fancy a fun sewing themed day out, then you can come along to that in the morning, have some nice lunch in Damascena, check out the shop, and yeah, just generally have a nice fun day. So the tickets for that are available in the workshop. If you go to the workshop section of the website, that's where the events are listed as well, and you can check out that there. I'm just checking on some of the other comments that have come in. I bought the green teddy fabric last week to make a jacket, and I've decided I now want to line it. Can you suggest anything suitable, please? I suppose it depends on the style of jacket and what you intend to wear underneath it, because you could line it with more like just kind of traditional sort of more like slippery sort of lining, if it was something that was maybe going to be a bit more fitted, or if you thought you'd be wearing like a kind of chunky jumper or something underneath, because you want the slippery lining to make it nice and easy for your arms to get in and out. But if it's maybe more of like a kind of spring weight jacket, then you might be all right just lining it with something a bit more fun than a more like traditional slippery lining. Like you could use cotton lawn, or you could even maybe use jersey. It would depend on what kind of jacket it was, what the style was. Will it be in the shop too, the sample sale things? Potentially, yeah. The problem is we don't really have like a huge area to display them, because when we did the sample sale before, it was out in the studio. And we sort of transformed the studio into the sample sale. But possibly, yes, we might have some of it out, but we just can't have like loads of it out, because we just don't have space like on the shop floor to have it all out. I've just finished making some Philippa pants using some moleskin from the sample sale. That sounds really nice. I love your shirt, thank you. It's the Paper Theory at Olia. Best fine thread for hand sewing delicate silk. You can get silk thread. I don't stock it, unfortunately, but you can get silk thread, so it might be that maybe you want to try and find that. Catherine's very kindly sent a link. Yeah, we have scalloped fold over elastic. I thought we did. What time do the kits go live? It's always at midday UK time. So yeah, always midday UK time on whatever the first Wednesday of the month is. Can you recommend a more fitted shirt pattern? The Grainline Archer shirt's definitely more fitted than this. It's not really fitted though. There's the Tilling the Buttons Rosa. It's quite fitted. The Avid Seamstress, the blouse is also, it's a blouse as opposed to a shirt. It's definitely like a bit more fitted than this kind of style here. Thank you, Lauren. It's for the Danny jacket, so cotton lawn is lovely. Okay, so other things were, okay, somebody left a comment on YouTube about trying to send us images of a finished garment using your wonderful fabrics, but they always seem to come back undelivered. I'm sorry about that. Maybe like double check you've got the email address right. It's info@guthrie-ganny.co.uk. I'm wondering whether they're maybe too big, and that's why not. But if you another way to send photos is on Instagram as well, or you could or if you use Facebook, you could like post it to, we've got like a G&G Facebook group as well. You could post them in there if you wanted to as well. Okay, yeah, Helen's saying the Avid Seamstress, the blouse is currently one of the free patterns in the Simply Sewing magazine. Ah, good to know. Lovely. Okay, so the first question that was sent in beforehand was, I'm going to make the I Am Hathor vest. It's a really nice versatile one if you've not seen it before. There's various different iterations of it you can make. In your fur-backed corduroy fabric. As it's fur-backed, I'm not going to line the vest. My question is, how do I finish the neckline and the armholes and the centre front edges of the fabric? The bottom, I guess I just turn up the hem, but I wasn't sure what I needed to do on the other edges. There's a couple of things that you could do. This is the fur-backed cord here. So on one side, it's like a nice cord fabric. This is like a variated one. And then in the back, it is a nice fur fabric. So it's kind of like two fabrics sort of stuck together, really. And we've still got some of this left in various colours, and it is in the sale as well, because it's more of like a wintry one. So the options are either that you could bind the edges, so you could make some bias binding, and you could bind them, and that would, obviously it would be like a bit more of a contrast. And I guess you could try to find a fabric that was like the same as the main colour, but it might be hard to get an exact colour match. You can maybe just choose to make more of a feature of it. So you could use make bias strips. You're effectively making bias binding, and then you can sew that on and sort of flip it around the edge, and then either hand sew it or stitch it down. But the other option would be to draft some kind of facing to go on it. Which will obviously add a bit of bulk because you've got two layers, but you'd be surprised, it can take a couple of layers, and you can, if you find that you're struggling with it, you can, within the seam allowances, you can always just trim some of the fur back as well, which will make it a little bit thinner at those areas too. So yeah, really it's either like a facing or drafting a facing or using binding. Okay, I have some Fabric Godmother Dolores floral cotton lawn in a green, which I wanted to use to make a Cassie dress, but it's quite see-through. What would I line it with? I think if it's a cotton lawn, then I would probably just line it with like a plain cotton lawn or a cotton voile, just to help give it some thickness in that, because that type of, like a plain cotton lawn or cotton voile will sort of mimic the main fabric, then it shouldn't really, like make it too stiff or anything, but that's probably what I would do. Okay, the next question was, I am hacking a top/blouse to open down the front. Any tips for neat corners? So I was thinking really here, it depends on how the neckline is finished or how you want to finish off the neckline once you've actually made it. With the options being basically that either it's going to be like facing or it's going to be a binding. So if it's a facing, then what you could do is just almost like draft the facing and kind of extend it down. So then you kind of make, you'd have like a facing bit for the back neckline, and then your front neckline facing, you would then have to just extend that so that it comes down the front. The other option with the binding would be that, if it's open down the front and you want to have like buttons, say, or I don't know, maybe you don't, and you just want it to sort of meet in the middle and you're going to kind of wear it open. But if you're going to have like some kind of placket there, then obviously you can't just split it. You have to like add a bit of extra on to like then fold it back on itself to make the button band or the button placket or maybe poppers you're putting on. So what you can do in that instance is that I would basically bind the neckline, and then you would, at the top where you sort of create the band that you're sewing on, you kind of fold it back on itself, so it was kind of like right sides together, and then sew along the top. It's quite hard to explain without like going into detail and showing you, but you basically have the binding kind of coming into that, and then when you turn it all the right way round, you get a nice neat corner and your binding sort of meets into it. So it is like that on one place you could look for like a bit more detail on that is in the Liesl & Co Geneva blouse, which we did as a kit a while ago. That's how that neckline's finished off. Like the button band is folded back and it has binding that sort of neatly comes in and hides it. So in the top tips video that goes with the Geneva blouse, I sort of explain how to do that. So if you got that top tips video, I know you're not making the Geneva blouse, but you would sort of see what I mean, which I'm trying to explain, but it's hard when you've not got like an actual example. Okay, Jens is saying, I made a vest in the dark pink fur bags and I used bias binding and I'm really pleased with the result. Excellent, that sounds lovely. Okay, so the next question was, okay, this is one for you guys. So, can you suggest any sewing chairs? My back and shoulders ache after sewing. So I think, so when I sew, I actually have a stool and that I sit on when I'm at the sewing machine. And it's just like a little round stool. It's from IKEA. I mean, I'm going to admit it's not the most comfortable thing, but it means that I can kind of spin round because I have my overlocker, and then at 90 degrees to that I have my sewing machine, so I kind of like spin between the both. But I think if you're finding that your back and shoulders are aching, another thing is to like generally consider like what sort of workspace or like kind of workbench you're working on, because obviously when you sew, the amount of time that you actually spend sitting at the sewing machine is, you know, is not that much compared to like the cutting out and the moving and the to and from the ironing board. The way that I've got it sort of set up at home, because I don't have like a big table at home. I tend to cut out on my kitchen island at home because it's like a big area, and obviously the height of that is like a nice height rather than bending over a dining table. I know that some people have like little sort of height extenders that they can put on their table to raise their table up when they're cutting out, so it's at a better surface. But I actually use my ironing board a lot, kind of almost like a workstation. So if I'm like pinning something, or I'm like, you know, measuring something out, or like doing whatever, I tend to kind of stand at my ironing board, and obviously I can then have that at a nice height that means I'm like not bending over. And then that definitely helps with, you know, not getting achy shoulders. The other thing that comes to mind that you might want to check or consider as well is what kind of lighting have you got? Because it might be that if you're sewing in a situation where it's maybe not the bit, like maybe if you're sewing at night and it's quite dark in the room, or the lighting's not that great, is that are you actually sort of straining to kind of see what you're looking at, or maybe you're kind of like bending down or kind of not having the best posture because it's hard for you to see what you're doing. So making sure you've got good lighting as well might sort of help with that. But yeah, it might be that some of you guys have got some ideas too. Okay, so okay, last comment on the fur backed. I turned my fur backed hems to the outside. The hem stitching disappears into the fur. Excellent. A sewing light will improve posture. Yeah, so another advocate for checking out lighting. A height adjustable chair is best, as otherwise I hunch my shoulders too. Maybe try a Swiss ball to sit on while sewing. Excellent idea too. I use a good office chair with wheels. A good adjustable office chair. Me too. My ironing board is permanently set up. I invested in an ergonomic office chair designed specifically for back issues. The legs are height adjustable too. I have a height adjustable chair with wheels and a good light. Okay, so it sounds like a lot of you are actually just using like regular kind of office chairs, which yeah, typically are quite adjustable. You know, the height can go up and down, and then they usually have quite good back support. So it might be that, yeah, you're just generally looking for a good like desk chair as opposed to like a specific sewing one. Jackie's suggesting try not to stay too long in one position. You could actually set an alarm to remind you to sit up and roll your shoulders back a few times before getting back into it, and lots of stand breaks. My sewing chair is an office chair from IKEA and I love it. Okay, I knew you guys would have lots of suggestions. Thank you. So hopefully some tips there to help you. Because yeah, that's not fun if it's not good if your fun hobby is giving you sore and achy neck and shoulders. Okay, so the next question was, how do you do darts in heavy fabric like suede or corduroy? So I have to admit, even when I've sewn with like quite chunky corduroy before, I've never really found that I have to do anything like significantly different from what I normally do when I sew a dart, which is start at the widest point and then like merge the stitching out so that it just sort of drops off the edge of where the fold is, and then press it to whatever side it is. So I would say, like, generally with cord, I don't think there's like anything significantly different that you need to do from like a regular dart. Guess if it was like really, really chunky or quite stiff, you could maybe think about using a clapper to sort of flatten it. If it was suede, that was the question, how do you do darts in heavy fabric like suede or corduroy? The other thing is, depending on how much the fabric frays, so if the fabric doesn't fray, maybe if it's like faux suede, which is kind of more of like a sort of kind of like a technical fabric really, I guess, it might be very tightly woven, it might not really fray. You could cut the dart open if it was really thick and you wanted to spread the bulk a little bit, so rather than pressing the dart to one side, just actually cut where the little fold and where the flap is and then kind of press it open that way too. But yeah, you can only really do that if your fabric's definitely not going to fray that much. So yeah, I hope that helps. A few more things on comfy position when sewing. The Love to Sew podcast has an episode on ergonomic sewing. That sounds very interesting. Also, make sure that you can reach the pedal comfortably without stretching. If not, then elevate the pedal so that you're not adjusting your position to reach it. I know sometimes I find that the foot pedal of my machine like somehow just moves its way like back under the table, and then I'm like, come back here. And yeah, but sometimes I just don't realise, and then I'm like stretching my leg away out to the side to try and get to the pedal, which then totally affects the rest of your posture. So yeah, definitely make sure the pedal is nice and close to you as well, in a comfortable position. Okay, the next question was zip recommendations for the Fibre Mood Didi pullover in the pale sea green fleece, possibly a pop of colour. So I couldn't find anything on our website that's specifically called pale sea green fleece, but I was wondering whether maybe you meant the sea glass cotton double fleece, which we do have. It's one of the ones in the sale. It's really nice for the Didi pullover. So I'm going to presume that you're going with that. I think it's quite a muted colour. It's quite like a muted kind of minty greeny colour. And I don't know, I think my personal preference would probably be to keep it like fairly neutral and tonal. To be honest, I would probably just go with like an off-white colour. And it's a 14-inch zip that you need. So yeah, that would be my suggestion there. Okay, so the next question was, I'm making my wedding dress this year. Congratulations, that's very exciting. I'm aiming for something simple but elegant, lovely, but it's in November. My plan is a D&D Magnolia in the meat milk tencel twill. I'm hoping this won't be too heavy for the Magnolia. I think it'll be fine. The meat milk tencel twill drapes so beautifully. I think you'll be fine with that in the Magnolia. I'd like to be able to dye the dress afterwards, but I'm wondering what thread to use, as I don't think Guterman sew-all will dye because of it being polyester. You are correct, it won't dye because it's polyester. So we don't stock it, but you can get actual cotton Guterman thread as well that is just made of actual cotton, and it will dye. I mean, it's going to be like fairly easy to find. I'm sorry I don't have it. There's like literally so many iterations of different thread that you can get, and I don't have space to have them all, but you can get cotton thread, so yeah, look out for that one. Okay, more chat on the ergonomic sewing. I really want to get a height adjustable desk. Excellent. My foot pedal always moves, it's really annoying. I'd like to find a piece of rubber or something non-slip to put underneath it to stop it happening. I've not found a solution yet. And then somebody says I bought a silicone mat from a pet shop. Useful. Worth a try, definitely. Okay, the next question was, how can I slightly lower and widen the neckline of the Tilly and the Buttons Marnie? So that is the one that has, that's the top that has all the little pin tucks in it that are sort of sewn in different directions. And you can, I think you can have a sort of frilly bit at the collar, at the neckline or not. I haven't looked at it closely. I've not actually made that before. I think it's bias binding that's round there. If anybody's made them, Arnie, maybe you can tell me. I think it's bias binding. But yeah, if you wanted to lower it and widen it, then basically you just need to get your pattern pieces and like trim them down a little bit by however much you wanted to lower and widen it. So just make sure that when because that front bit will be like cut on the fold, just make sure that you're coming out, I would say like at least 1 centimetre, like at 90 degrees from where the fold line is. And then just start to sort of merge it up. You know, it might be like you make a little mark of how much you want to widen it and then how much you want to lower it by. And then, yeah, you're sort of joining it up. But to avoid you getting like a little pointy bit at the centre front, you just need to come straight out for a little bit and then just sort of merge up with it. And it's quite a small distance. Like you can just kind of do that freehand. And then yeah, like literally just cut the fabric back a little bit. The other thing that you could do as well is just cut it out as per the pattern and then try it on before you actually put the neckline finishing on, the binding on, and then work out that way where you want to lower it by, and then you're just like cutting away a bit of the fabric basically. So you can do it that way around as well. So yeah, I hope that helps. Okay, so the next question was, I'd love to see a fabric for crease resistant trousers for summer. So the best fabric that I've got for crease resistance is, because really if you definitely want something that is not going to crease at all, you need to look towards more synthetic fibres or synthetic blends because they don't crease. So I've got one that is a mix of bamboo and recycled polyester, and it's got a little bit of spandex in it as well. It comes in lots of different colours, so it's our bamboo blended twill fabric. It's $24.50 a metre, and it's really good for not creasing. It's got a really nice drape as well. So I've picked out a bit more of like a lighter, this is fawn, a bit more of a sort of lighter, potentially more summery colour, but it's a really good thickness for trousers. It's nice and soft, drapes beautifully, and yet it's not going to crease because it's got 49% recycled polyester in it. So that would be my best suggestion for that one. Then the next question was, can you tell me what the pattern was used for the beautiful long coat on the display behind you? This is this one here. This is the named clothing Esme cardigan, this one, which is really lovely, and we don't have the exact colour that it was made in, but it was in this viscose blended knit fabric. That's what we used to make that version. So this is the mint colourway. We do have various other colourways as well, but it's nice and soft. You can see it's quite floppy as well, so it makes like a nice kind of relaxed fitting sort of drapey cardigan. So yeah, that's what's behind me there. Can you suggest, okay, somebody's asking, can you suggest a pattern for summer trousers please, not too wide a leg like culottes? Yeah, there's loads of different ones. The True by Stanny is quite nice, and it's not too wide. That's one that's coming to mind off the top of my head. Okay, the next question was, I just purchased the Maison Fauve dandelion jacket pattern, but I need to have some selections of fabric. Can you help please? So I've got a few suggestions. I've got a couple that are jacquards, which look kind of similar to like the samples that were on the listing for that pattern. So I've got this one here, which is quite funky and colourful. This is the Aztec jacquard weave fabric. So it's nice sort of muted tones, and it's got, so this pattern's like woven into it. So yeah, I think that one would be nice. And then if you want to go for something nautical, this is another jacquard that I think would be nice as well. You can actually use it either way, so you could either have it like more predominantly blue or predominantly white. This is the one that we used for the summer bag kit last year, but you could definitely use it for garments as well. It's really nice. And then, or something a bit fancier, this one's actually in the sale. This is a more kind of glitzy jacquard. This is the maroon and blue sketchy blooms brocade fabric. It's got a nice metallic thread in it as well, so you could use that too. And then the other ones that I thought that they're not as sort of structured as the jacquards is we've got a really nice range of the 7 berry cotton they're like the indigo range, so they're 100% cotton, and then they've just got nice little prints on them. This is the Space Lines one here, so it's quite subtle, really nice, sort of nice navy indigo colour as well. Kind of flowery one that's part of the same range. This is the Little Flower, and then this one as well, which is the 7 berry mosaic dots on indigo cotton fabric. So I think they would be nice too. And then another suggestion for summer trousers that are not too fitted, Merchant and Mills Eve. Yep, another classic. That is definitely another nice one. Thank you, Megan. Okay, the next question was, how many meters do you have left of the Atelier Brunette Oasis Night fabric, please? That is this one here. I love the colours in that. So it's a nice plain weave. It's nice lightweight with lots of drape. At the moment we've got 3 meters, but we do have a delivery of Atelier Brunette due any day really. I thought it might come today, but it didn't. So it'll probably be here like either tomorrow or Wednesday. But yeah, there's 3 meters at the moment, so quite a lot for various different things. Hopefully that's enough for what you need. And then the next question was, I have your spruce bamboo blended twill fabric for the Mitchells, but I realise it has stretch. Would it work, or should I use the cotton twill? So yeah, I think it would work. It's only got a little bit of stretch, and it was you would still class it as a woven fabric even though it's got elastane in it. I would just suggest using woven interfacing for like the facing bit of the waistband, just so that it stabilises it a little bit more. So that's just like the other colourway of that fawn one that I was showing you. But it's this lovely sort of dark green colour. It's really nice. But yeah, I think that will make really nice Mitchell trousers. But the rest of that question was, is the cotton twill different in weight / stiffness to the sanded twill used for the Philippa kit? Yes, it is. So this is the cotton twill here. So this is just their like regular, this is the 7 berry one, just 100% cotton twill. It's got quite a sort of textured kind of it's quite raised, the twill texture, which adds really nice character to the fabric. Comes in loads of colours, this one as well. And this is the one that we've used for various kits before, the Kelly Anorak, the Ilford, the Anna Allen Persephone pants. So it is a nice versatile one, but I would say it's not as densely woven. Like, I don't think it's as stiff and structured as the sanded twill. I didn't bring any rolls of the sanded twill over because they're really big and heavy, but these are the actual Philippa pants here. And I would say that the twill weave on this one is like finer, it's more subtle. But yeah, it's probably like more densely woven as well. So I think it just has like a bit more structure in it really. And then because it's sanded, it's got that sort of slight kind of fluffy feel to it. Okay, so the next question was a dungaree pattern for toddlers for knit fabric. I have made the Poppy and Jazz Dandelion dungarees. It's really cute. It's reversible as well. And yeah, I made that for my little boy when he was younger, and it's really cute. I was quite sad when he got old enough, when he got too old to wear it anymore. But crack that one out again in a little while. Okay, the next question was, do you sell Merchant and Mills fabric? I don't, I'm sorry. I don't, I'm afraid. Okay, the next one was a fabric for first Marnie blouse. I'm not ready for viscose. I don't want structure or stiff fabric either. So I actually got a bit confused because for some reason I thought when I read that before that it said Marie blouse, and I was thinking it was the By Hand London Marie blouse with the pin tucks that go down. I guess the Marnie is the Tilly and the Buttons one that someone was asking about earlier. I suppose it's not too dissimilar. You can have pin tucks in that one as well. I think the thing is, if you don't want structure or a stiff fabric, then viscose is the best for that because it doesn't have structure. It's very floppy and it's not stiff at all. But so the kind of closest thing really that you're going to get to that's not got structure or stiffness is like a cotton lawn or like a really lightweight cotton. So I've pulled out a few as an example. This will still have a bit of structure though, like it'll have more structure than viscose. You know, cotton lawn is quite crisp I personally wouldn't really describe cotton lawn as having like a flow or drape. I would say it's more like floaty and lightweight as opposed to like floppy and drapey and swishy. But yeah, out of a woven fabric and you want it to be as light as possible, a cotton lawn is good, and it is a lot easier to work with. Like, it's much easier to press, and it obviously doesn't slip around as much. This particular one here is the Lily Pad Floral Lagoon Pima Cotton. It's $13.60 a metre, but we do have various other ones. And then I've got a few other sort of like lighter weight cottons. This one's even lighter really than a cotton lawn. I'd say it's this nice neon Dobie one. It's a little bit transparent, so it depends how you feel about that. You might want to wear like a little camisole underneath it. This is the neon pink Dobie Sprinkle organic cotton fabric. So it's like quite a sort of pale pink in the background with these lovely sort of nice Dobie spots on it. Somebody's suggesting a viscose blend. So I bought this one over because this one is a viscose blend. It's 90 linen and 10% viscose. So because it's mostly linen, it does have a fair amount of structure, but you can see that it is quite floppy as well. So you can get like varying degrees of like a viscose blend, and obviously the more viscose that it's got in it, the more kind of floppy and like all over the place it's going to be. So yeah, if you use cotton lawn in the bias, would it be more flowy but possibly more difficult to sew with? Probably yes to both of those points. Yeah, I think it would be a bit more flowy, but yeah, when you cut something on the bias, it does tend to be a bit more tricky to sew with because it can just stretch out a bit more easily. I used a viscose poplin and it was lovely to work with. Yeah, so it might be that like a really lightweight viscose is tricky, but a viscose poplin is just a bit heavier weight, it's a bit thicker. Maybe that's slightly easier to control. Do you have any soft knits suitable for making cardigans, please? Cream or caramel preferably. We do, yeah. I've got another cardigan question coming up, so there'll be a few suggestions there. I'll come back to that one. Okay, the next question was, would the dark green rib knit be suitable for a Nico dress or top? So that is this one here. It's one of our new ones. So yeah, it's this lovely kind of deep green colour. That's actually there. I was making the light go a bit funny again. Now, the only thing about this one, I'm going to put it down and then I'll explain to you what I mean. The only thing that I noticed about that one is that, so the Nico top has quite a lot of negative ease. So that means that the garment that you make is smaller than your actual body, and that's what gives it the fit. So that's what negative ease is. But it means that the fabric that you use has to have enough stretch because it's got to stretch around your body. Now, the only thing that I noticed specifically with this dark green colour is that when it's really, really stretched, you can see some of the elastane fibres in it and it makes it look slightly lighter. So I actually think specifically for the dark green one, I'm not actually sure that it would be good for the Nico, because I think where like over the bust where it's obviously got more negative ease, I think it might then make the fabric look a bit lighter. So it would be something with either no ease or positive ease is going to be better for the dark green one. But then on the lighter green version, which is this one here, which is the same fabric, it's just in a different colour, I think it would actually be totally fine, because even when you stretch it, because it's lighter in colour, you're not seeing the elastane fibres in it. It's just that when you stretch that darker one, you then see the lighter elastane fibres coming out. So yeah, I hope that helps. We do have some other ones that would be good for the Nico though. That one there, which I'd actually pulled out for another question, but this is the honey mustard variated rib knit fabric. And it's nice and stretchy too. It's got a good lot of body to it, so that would be nice for the Nico for a top or for a dress as well. Okay, so the next question was fabric recommendations for the sable cardigan as an alternative to the kit fabric. So this is a style arc pattern and it's for like a very loose sort of oversized long cardigan. So there's a few different options that you could go with that one. You could go for the snuggle sweatshirting, which is the same as the bright coral one that I was showing you in the beginning. So it is more like a sweatshirting fabric, but you can use that to make cardigans as well. So I think that would be a nice option. It comes in various colours. This particular one is the lavender one, so it's an organic cotton sweatshirting fabric. And then it's got a little bit of recycled polyester in it as well. Then this one here is also a sweatshirting fabric, but it's a bit lighter weight, so the snuggly one is really quite thick and heavy. Whereas the cozy colour range, again, this comes in lots of lovely colours too. It's got the snuggly fleece back, but it's just a bit thinner and just a little bit lighter weight, but you could use that as well. And you could use the same fabric for the neckband on these ones as well. And then I think I did have some other options too. So this one, and yeah, generally for cardigans, not just the sable. So that one that I showed you for the Nico, that variated rib knit. And then we do have this one as well, which is the slate blue narrow rib knit fabric. And it's a viscose mix as well. So this is going to give, it depends what sort of aesthetic you want with the cardigan. So obviously if it's got viscose in it, it's going to be more floppy and drapey and sort of lightweight. So it gives like a more slouchy cardigan as opposed to like something more structured. So hopefully that helps to see the difference there. This one is a little bit more structured. So this one is the navy knit effect fabric. It's in the sale, it's got 20% off. It's 70 cotton and 30 polyester. And this is almost like a double faced fabric. So on one side, it looks like a sort of ribbed knit fabric, but then on the back, it looks like a regular sort of t-shirt jersey. So it kind of gives some stability to the knitted fabric. So this would definitely have like more structure. It would hold its shape a little bit more, but yeah, it makes a really nice cardigan too. Would the slate blue work for the Nico? Yes, it would. It would also work for the Nico. It's really nice and stretchy, that one. So a few suggestions there for the sable. Okay, the next one was I have got 2 meters of the pink confetti modal fabric, which is this one here. And it's so nice, I agree, it is very nice. It's cotton, it's 47 cotton and 47 modal. So because it's got the modal in it, it's got quite a bit of kind of drape and floppiness to it compared to just a regular cotton jersey. So it's really nice and soft. Any pattern recommendations, please? The Closet Core Ebony, I really like that one. It's quite A-line, but in something that's got modal in it, it's going to drape really nicely. Or you could go for a nice dress, like the Cashmere Appleton dress is nice. It would maybe depend on what size you were making, how long you wanted the sleeves, but you could have a look at that one too. Or just like a classic t-shirt, the Tilly and the Buttons Agnes, or you could do like the nice puff sleeves with that. Or there's some nice chalk and notch t-shirt patterns as well, which are good. I made the Ellie and Mac Tresbell wrap out of that fabric. Lovely. So yeah, quite a few ideas there. So definitely like any kind of top you're going to get out of 2 meters, possibly a dress, depending on the size and the style of the dress, you might get that out as well. Okay, so the next question was, do you have any pattern recommendations for camis that suit curvier women, not the Ogden? So the Cashmere Webster is nice. It's a cami and it's got sort of wider straps, and then at the back it's got little sort of detailing. I didn't have the pattern. We used to have it, but I don't think we stock it anymore now, but you can get it as a PDF from the Cashmere website. It's got kind of like a nice crossover detail at the back, which is like a nice feature. And then there's also the Cashmere, what's this one? The Springfield top. So they come in various different cup sizes. So good for curves, and this one's quite flattering. You can see on the back, you see that sort of back section there, it's got these panels in it, so it just makes it a bit more, I guess it'll make it like a little bit more fitted at the back rather than being quite loose and baggy. So a few suggestions there. The chalk and notch waterfall top would be lovely. Yeah, that would be nice. Somebody's saying I made the Stasia dress. Yeah, another classic one. That's a Soul Liberated one, the Stasia dress. Okay, the next one was, does the Cone Mills rigid denim need pre-washing twice like it was suggested with the stretch version? So I'm gonna say no. I'm pretty sure I tested that. Like I washed it several times and then I kept measuring it to see when it stopped shrinking, and I don't think it shrinks like the stretch one does. So you probably could get away with just washing it once. Just make sure that you're washing it like in the same circumstances that you will wash it afterwards. I actually have this like really ridiculous habit of pre-washing stuff at 30 degrees, and then when I come to do my washing, I then wash it at 40. I should really be pre-washing at 40, but I generally try to wash at 30. I don't know, sometimes it's like an autopilot thing and then I wash at 40. So yeah, as long as you're washing it as you will actually wash the garment when it's done, then one wash should be fine. Okay, so the next question was, fabric suggestions for black jersey knickers, please. Sure. So I've got a few options for you. This one here is the Black Basics organic cotton jersey fabric. So it's just like a regular jersey weight fabric, nice and soft, organic cotton. Would be good for the gussets as well on other ones. And then I've also got this one here, which is a bamboo and a cotton. So it's 68 bamboo and it's 28% cotton. So that would be another option. So because it's got bamboo in it, it's a bit thinner and it's a bit more floppy, whereas the cotton jersey has like a little bit more sort of structure to it. This one's just, yeah, like a little bit more floppy. It's not as like saturated a black. Honestly, see, when you start looking at like loads of different blacks together, you realise how many variations of black that there are. There's quite a lot of black fabrics in the sample sale fabrics, and I was looking at them all thinking like, whoa, who knew there were so many blacks? That bamboo one doesn't look as like saturated black as the cotton jersey one. The other option is this one, which is on a big floppy roll down here beside me, is this one here, and this is the black, there's fluff on it, the black micro modal jersey fabric, which is 92 micro modal and 8% elastane. So because it's all modal, then it's really nice and soft. It is quite floppy. It feels a little bit sort of finer than the cotton one, but I think it would still be suitable for knickers. Somebody's saying, I've made knickers from your black organic cotton, extremely comfy, excellent, good to know. Okay, so a few options there in the black knicker vein. Okay, the next question was, please recommend a simple beanie pattern so I can use up fabric from my sable kit. So I did find one that was a wardrobe by me pattern. It was like a simple beanie hat pattern. But I think there are also quite a lot of like free tutorials out there as well. So I suppose it depends how much kind of specific construction you want, whether you want like an actual pattern or whether you want to sort of be a bit more experimental and follow like a tutorial where they'll kind of tell you how to draw it out. But if you just search beanie hat sewing pattern, I saw quite a lot of things come out, but the wardrobe by me one was like an actual pattern that you can get for a beanie hat. Okay, the next one was, can you recommend any dress patterns with a shirt collar like the M7834, which is no longer in print? So I had a quick look at that one. I managed to find a picture of it, and to me it looked pretty similar to the Tilly and the Buttons Lyra. So it's got like a classic sort of shirt collar and then buttons down to the front and then basically like gathered tiers at the bottom, and then yeah, regular sleeves. So yeah, check out the Tilly and the Buttons Lyra for that one. If anybody's got any other questions before I sign off, I'm starting to feel like quite breathless. I don't know if it's like a pregnancy thing when you talk a lot. I feel like I'm out of breath, I'm just standing here. So if you've got any other questions, let me know now. Okay, Chris is just saying, I have just made my Sewing Society next dress and I absolutely love it. I can't believe how beautiful the fabric is. I'm really glad. Any recommendations for other top/dress patterns for the fabric? There's so many different things you could do with it. Do you know what, actually one place to look, which would be really good, and you'll see the fabric made up in lots of different things, is when we had the birthday event all of the staff made something different in the fabric, and we've got a blog post of all of the different staff makes that they used to make the fabrics. So some made dresses, some made tops, Alison made a skirt. So yeah, check that out on the blog, on the website, for all of the staff makes out of the Be Happy Blooms fabric. But yeah, it's just like a really nice weight that's very versatile. I also made, so I obviously got all of the Knix versions, the dresses and the tops and stuff. I also made the named patterns. What was the name? Keritu? It's like you can either make it as a skirt or a dress, and it's really nice for the summer. It's got like a cute tie front bit at the top and then just like gathered tiers in the skirt. So I used the navy one to make that as well. I loved it. So yeah, lots of things that you can make out of that. The Stay Stitch Jude beanie, read the beanie pattern, okay? Recommendation there. So for a beanie pattern, the Stay Stitch Jude. Lovely. Okay, I'll check out the blog. My mum also wants something in the fabric. It's so soft. Would the double gauze work for the Marnie, please? It would, yeah. Double gauze does have quite a lot of kind of floatiness to it. It's very lightweight, but it does have like a bit of structure and sort of fullness. So that's just something to bear in mind. But yeah, I think it would work. Thank you for your thanks, everyone. So yeah, remember the Sewing Society kit is out on Wednesday. If you aren't signed up to our newsletter, just send me a direct message that says Sewing Society, and then it will auto send you the link so that you can check that you've signed up. So that is on Wednesday at 12 o'clock midday. And then there's more new fabrics going on this week because we didn't want to put everything on last week. So they will be going on this week, and then I can show you them next week. But it's some really nice viscose jersey prints, so they're really good for various tops and dresses and that sort of thing. So you can watch out for them as well. And then, is there anything else I need to tell you? I don't think so. But yeah, I will see you next week again. If you want to watch back, if you missed the start, it will be saved onto Instagram, and then it'll also be on my YouTube channel as well. And then you can also check out the blog post that will go with this live video, and there'll be like links to all of the various things that I've mentioned in there as well. But you can always just send a message anytime to us. The G&G team and I are always more than happy to help, so do just reach out, give us a ring, give us an email, send us a message, and we can help you on your dressmaking journeys. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening, everyone. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.